we're dependent on the natural world. We're dependent on it for oxygen and food and fresh water and coastal defence and flood protection and greater health through people taking exercise and greater mental health and a whole range of other benefits. But although all of us are dependent on this, few actually have any understanding of how this operates. So my aim in these videos, and this is my 100th video, is to try to explain how it is that the natural world operates. And for this video I've come here to Cley-next-the-Sea in the North Norfolk coast. And the reason is that this is sort of central to my life. So as a schoolboy, I told my parents I wanted to go to the University of East Anglia, which is quite nearby, because I liked the course structure. Complete lie. I wanted to be near here. I came here on birdwatching trip, on birding club trips. I used to catch the train to Sheringham and walk along the coast. With a friend, we camped in the Wolsey Hills for a week and took our dishes to the nearby pub and washed them up there. So this really is the primeval soup from which this ecologist and conservation biologist emerged. And I was lucky at the University of East Anglia that there was an exciting group of dynamic young lecturers who were interested in ecology. And also I was lucky that at that time ecology was undergoing a renaissance. So it was a very exciting subject with lots of fresh ideas. And also behavioural ecology was emerging as a topic. So the subject was breaking and changing, and we had lots of people that were interested in these new ideas. So throughout my life, I've been accumulating these ideas and learning. I've loved learning about ecology and conservation and evolution and behaviour. And if you like, I've sort of got a toolkit of concepts. And my idea in these videos is to explain the ideas in that toolkit. They're often nerdy ideas, but I hope I explain them so that they're understandable to anyone. And in my life, I guess I just have been reliant on this toolkit. So I'm on various advisory boards and councils, and I volunteer to give guidance and advice to all sorts of different groups. And what I'm really doing is taking out the tools from these toolkits and applying them. And there's a certain beauty in this as well, or I think so. I find it beautiful to understand the natural world, to understand why the pintail out there looks so elegant, why the coastal species up there that you only get around the coast, that you get in the salt marshes and the shingle, they're restricted to the coast, but they do less well in saltwater. Why, for the reeds over here, they go in dominant reed beds and nothing else can survive. So understanding how that operates is something I find really satisfying. And it's useful too for understanding how the world operates. So I guess about a decade or so ago, there's a massive seawater flood here at Cley, and all of this area was flooded with seawater. Lots of species died, the habitats changed enormously. Some people said it would never recover, but as you can see, it has. And coastal habitats are very dynamic, changeable habitats. And to understand these dynamic habitats, we really need to understand a range of ecological concepts. We need to understand the idea of metapopulations, that populations will go extinct, but then other populations will colonize and appear elsewhere. So there'll be the birth and death of populations. So this is called metapopulations. There's the idea of leptokurtic dispersal, that most individuals will travel a short distance or moderate distance, a few will travel a long distance, and a very few will travel a very long distance. And it's the tail of the distribution, these long distance individuals, that make the ecological and evolutionary difference by appearing in new sites, by exchanging genetic material with distant individuals. And there's the idea of geometric and arithmetic means. So the geometric mean means that a particularly bad year has a really serious impact on the population, like the floods that occurred here. And so understanding that is really important. So I hope that in my videos I've explained those nerdy ideas in a way that anyone can understand, and that and giving examples of how they work. And in doing these videos, I'm afraid they're not very professional. So I do them just as one cut. I'm not competing with David Attenborough. I'm not competing with the BBC. I view this as rather like being on a field trip. And just, this is me, this is what I can show you. Very often in my videos I'll show you particular examples of things. But I don't spend weeks in editing. But you'll get the raw me. And I hope that people will use this information. I hope that people will be inspired. I hope that students will do better in their exams. I hope that some people will decide to learn more. I hope that naturalists and those who care about the natural world will get to appreciate it more by understanding more. I hope that conservation practitioners and policymakers and decision makers will have a more sophisticated understanding of the natural world. And I really hope that people will take this information and apply it to make a real difference. So I've really enjoyed doing these videos. I'm delighted by how people seem to like them. I'm delighted by the comments I get, by the fact there's been almost 100,000 views. And I'm delighted by the people following, and if there's likes and follows, then YouTube promotes this video further, so yet more people get to see it. But really the critical thing is there's a love of nature, an appreciation of what's going on, and hopefully collectively we're going to make more of a difference. We're going to find ways of improving this world and making a really difference to the planet. Thank you.